Hi future millionaires, welcome back to Debt to Millionaire Daily. I'm John and today I'm going to be talking to you about why I'm looking to invest in property. I think, and a lot of people would agree who know about property, is a better investment than many other options out there for the reason that you can make money from it in 3 different ways in the UK. It's actually 4 different ways in America. In England, it's only 3 different ways. I'll explain what they are now. So the first way you can make money from property is from the rental profits. So each month the tenant pays rent. Some of that rent you got to pay towards the mortgage, some towards utility bills, stuff like that, and a bit towards maintenance you'll save, you put aside. After all those, if it's a good deal, you'll have a bit of money left, and that's the profit from the rent. The second way you make money from property is capital appreciation. In the UK, on average, house prices have gone up double every 10 years. You know, the past isn't a definite indicator of what's going to happen in the future. But with house prices, if that does continue, that means that a house that costs £100,000 or $100,000 today would go up to £200,000. It's not guaranteed to go up after 10 years, could even dip, but overall, on average, they go up. The third way you can make money from property is from tax savings. There's lots of aspects of property where you can get tax deductions. I'm not going to go into the details. I'm not an accountant. Property gives you a lot of opportunities to save on tax, where otherwise, if you'd invested that money elsewhere in, say, stocks, you wouldn't be able to get those tax deductions. So any profits you would make on those stocks, you'd have to pay the full amount of tax. I mean, I'm sure there's some ways around, there's some ways you can save tax on stocks, but property has a lot more ways. So that's the 3 ways. In America, there's a 4th way. Each month you'd pay money towards the mortgage and it would pay down the outstanding balance on the mortgage. In the UK, to buy investment property, usually you would just get what's called an interest-only mortgage. So you borrow a certain amount of money to buy the house, let's say £75,000, and you put down £25,000 for a total of £100,000 house purchase. That £75,000 you would owe at the end of the mortgage term, let's say after 10 years or 25 years, whatever mortgage term you get. So you'd still owe that full amount. You'd just be like servicing the interest over that period of time. That's what interest-only mortgage is. Whereas with a principal pay-down mortgage, is that the name of it? Principal pay-down mortgage? A regular mortgage, which you can get for investment properties in America. Each month, you'd be putting some of that rent from the tenants towards that mortgage, what would be paying it down, effectively giving you more ownership of the house over time. In the UK, I don't believe that happens. You just pay interest on the mortgage, and then at the end of the mortgage, hopefully the house price has gone up. So that profit that you made on the capital appreciation, some of that can go towards paying that huge balance left on the mortgage. But also over time, that initial amount, that £75,000 from the example, in today's money, it's £75,000 buys whatever it buys. That's why I'm looking to invest in property in the UK. Yesterday, I hit a bit of a mini milestone in my business progress for the house buying company. I got some landing pages finished, so I created those using a website called Wix, a website that you use to build other websites. I'll link that down below just in case you want to check it out, called wix.com. It's a drag and drop kind of situation, so you just drag in the elements and you can make full websites without knowing any code. This wasn't a planned plug, by the way. I use Wix all the time, and I think you could benefit from it if you make websites for your businesses. Yeah, I made some landing pages, and I also set up a Google ad campaign, made a bunch of ads to split test, do some A/B testing, which is where you make one ad and then another version of an ad, and they both point to the same landing page, and then over time you'll see which ad gets the most clicks. So it'll show it to, say, an equal number of people. The reason I'm saying all this is to tell you about my property acquisition company. So I have a joint venture partner, just a business partner of mine who I met through a networking event. It was actually some paid training that I met him at. We partnered up, and he's got a separate business that he's quite successful in, and he's got a big chunk of change in the hundreds of thousands of pounds that he wants to invest in property. But it's very hard to find a good property deal where we're wanting to buy. He needs me to find it for him, basically. So I'm going to do all the work to find it, make sure, or when we come to buy it, just handle everything, and then we'll split the profits 50-50. It's not like he's giving me hundreds of thousands of pounds of value out of that. It's he'll get all his money back out at the end, and then we'll split the money that's made on top of that from the rental profits and the capital appreciation and the tax savings, all that stuff that I talked about. So that's a pretty good deal from my perspective, because it allows me to start investing in property, not having any money of my own and being in masses of debt, and eventually start building equity in these properties that will raise my net worth without even directly paying my debts down. I mean, I am doing that with other income sources, but in terms of property, I'm just able to get on the ladder, as they call it, the property ladder, without having a deposit saved of my own. Before, my strategy for trying to find a suitable property deal was I was going out with estate agents and just looking at houses, putting in offers, but they were all getting rejected because where I live in Manchester in the UK, all the properties at the moment are selling for way above the asking price. So it's just impossible to get a house below the market value. Well, seemingly impossible if you're just going out and doing viewings like every other person is. So then we thought we'll change strategies. We'll go to auctions. Maybe we'll have better luck there. Well, I went to a bunch of viewings to view the houses because that's what you can still view them before auctions. Usually, you can put offers in before the auctions, and they were all getting declined. I watched how those houses played out during the auctions themselves, and they all sold for above the asking price. Surprise, surprise. So we were like, neither of these are working. We're gonna have to do something different. Google ad campaign. That's where we're at now. So I've made these Google ads to attract people who are wanting to sell the houses, but not just anyone who's wanting to sell, specific people who are wanting to sell fast or for cash, or who just don't want to deal with estate agents. So for example, if someone was going through a repossession, the bank was wanting to repossess the houses, and the bank says, you got to sell it in like a few weeks or we're taking it from you. Yeah, if they sell it, they still won't have the house, but at least they won't have that huge red cross on their credit file for the rest of their lives. Have gone through a repossession with the bank. So it would be a win-win. We'd get a house for way below market value, and they wouldn't have this life-changing nightmare. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you like the content, also turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Check out the blog, Debt2Millionaire.com. I'll link it below in the description. I'm also on social media at Debt2Millionaire. Hopefully, together, we can go from me being in 70k of debt to millionaire status, and we can go through it all together. You can see everything I do day in, day out. Well, not everything, because I'm not filming all the time, but hopefully, once the channel gets going, I'll be able to hire someone to just follow me around, and you will be able to see actually everything that I'm doing in my 4 different businesses. Yeah, that'd be good. Cheers, see you tomorrow.